You should post as often as you have something worth saying. And what I mean by that is don't just post, pardon my French, bullshit.
Hello, hello. I'm excited that you're here. I know Julia's excited that you're here. We're going to be talking about content. What should I be posting and why isn't this working? So, last episode, we talked about 5 questions that people always have about marketing. This episode is 5 more along the lines of this theme. So, if you are ready to have your mind blown and some truth poured into your life, you're in the right place. Julia, how are you? It's been 5 whole minutes since I talked to you.
Not even.
Nanosecond. What is happening?
I'm great. I mean, it stopped raining here in Massachusetts, and it's no longer 110 degrees. So it's that very strange time when it's livable in the summer here.
I do love that.
I know. It's unusual.
So it is summer in the South here in North Florida, and it's looking kind of scary outside. Like God's got a beef with somebody, and it's about to rain. Like he's about ready to show some people what he's mad about. So we'll see what happens.
Some Old Testament justice.
Yes. Listen, he sent the rainbow. He won't be flooding the earth again. So just saying.
I mean,
alrighty. So let's actually dive in. A couple of cornerstone thoughts for you. Really good content, it builds trust, authority, and qualified leads. Our very first question is, how often should I be posting on social media? Julia?
Oof. I'm going to say the same thing I always say is it depends, which nobody ever wants to hear from me, but it's
just
entirely.
Put that on record and put that on a button. It depends.
I have a friend that's an attorney, and he's like, everyone hates this, but it's so true. It depends. And it's true. So it does depend, obviously. But the one universal truth around that is you should post as often as you have something worth saying. And what I mean by that is don't just post, pardon my French, bullshit. Post something that means something. It could also be as minute as a great story from an interaction with a client. It could be a thought. It could be an idea. It could be a photo from a client visit. It could be a review you got. It doesn't have to be earth shattering and life changing, but it needs to be worth somebody's time and attention. People can tell the difference between authentic and bullshit, and you should not be posting bullshit. That all being said, if you have real things to post 3 times a day, post 3 times a day. One of the biggest questions I get is, am I posting too much? Or is this too much? And I can say universally, no, it is not. Because nobody on social media gets things in the exact order they're posted. So if I post, like yesterday, I posted twice on LinkedIn on my personal page. Nobody's seeing that in a row. You're going to see one of them in a week, and you're going to see one of them tomorrow.
You might not see it at all.
Correct. So the only way they're going to see it in a row is if they go specifically to your page and then look at the dates, which who's doing that? They're creepy. Don't do that. So absolutely. If you have
when people go to my page, it means they want to buy.
No, but I mean like looking when things are posted and trying to figure out if you posted things in the same day. Like that's creepy.
Oh,
so like yesterday, I had 2 separate things to say. One was more classically about sales. I posted it in the morning, and one was at 4:30 p.m. because my dog is in the Worcester Business Journal. Shout out to Brad, who put my dog in the Worcester Business Journal. And I know, I'm so excited. So I posted about that because they put her photo up on the Worcester Business Journal LinkedIn page. And so I was like, well, this is
always good news.
Listen, everybody always wants to see a dog. Like, if you don't want to see a dog, you're a psychopath and I don't want to deal with you. So I posted separately, and both of those things are things worth saying and are great for my audience and had some kind of content that's good, that somebody is going to want to read. And then
one really humanized you, but also the other one delivered value. Both of those things have incredible value. So it's not just something worth saying where you're only delivering value, but humanizing yourself. And there's a delicate art to that. It's not just like, here's my breakfast.
Exactly.
So.
And if anybody is actually interested, puppy dog.
Oh, you have it right there. Convenient.
I do. I'm going to frame it. It's going up on the wall behind me. If you're on YouTube, you can see I have all my awards and everything. This is going up on the wall behind me. It has Ruth Bader Ginsburg right here. Top dog.
She's so cute.
She's so cute.
She's a good girl.
Yeah.
Aww.
So that's my answer.
No, I love that. I think that's really powerful. You know, I think the only part of that I really want to expand on is for years, people have entered into sometimes very spirited debates with us about how often is too often on social media. And they're like, oh, well, I just don't want to post that much. I don't want to be annoying. I don't think you understand how an algorithm works.
Mm-hmm.
An algorithm is going to sometimes show your content to some of your people. And I mean, I will tell you, this is the crazy thing, and nobody wants to believe me on this one. The people who post, wait for it, gird your loins, 40 times a day are the ones that sell like crazy. They don't care if they're being annoying because nobody is seeing all 40 pieces of content.
Correct.
If you post like 40 times a day, you know, try not to die. Not everybody can do this, but the people who actually do, they've got the team, they can do all that. They have digital omnipresence, and that means that they can actually be in front of their avatar at least once every single day, which means top of mind, which means dollars. So how often? As often as you possibly can. And believe me, your stinker content, it won't be shown. Your great content will be shown. And if it has value, the numbers will reflect that. If it doesn't, learn from it.
And I will say in a previous episode, one of the things we said is you don't have to post every single day. And that's true. You don't. But the more you post, the more likely you are to get in front of the right person.
Amen. Question number 2, do I need to be on video? I'll start this one off. Yeah, you do. Once upon a time, maybe you didn't have to be. But as of today, this is July 2025, when we are recording this, I'm telling you right now, video gets things done in ways that text no longer really is sufficient for. I will post text things. I will post screenshots. I will post photos. I will post videos. I prefer to use all of these different things. And this podcast, by the way, if you're watching it on YouTube, obviously you can tell this is video. But if you're only listening to like Spotify or Apple or whatever, you might not realize there's a video component. Video is necessary because people buy from people. People want to know who they're actually working with, especially if you have a smaller business. People really want to see you. There are obviously exceptions to this rule. There are faceless brands. There are ways to do this. But for all intents and purposes, most of the time, the answer, you know, it depends. Probably 95% of the time, the answer is yes, you do, especially if you're the founder.
Yes. The other part of this is that the algorithm loves video. And stop shouting
LinkedIn is finally getting on board.
Correct. And people want to shout into the wind and be like, well, I don't want to be on video. And it's like, okay, well, then you're not going to play the game with the algorithm and you're just not going to be seen as much. Are there instances where a static image is going to perform better than a video? Of course, there's always exceptions. But in general, in the law of large numbers, a video will outperform a static image every day of the week, no matter the platform you're on. And some platforms like TikTok require video. So if you're trying to sell to a younger generation and you're selling something that somebody could buy in TikTok shop, you better be on video and you better have a face behind that brand. It doesn't have to necessarily be the founder, like Laura was saying. I don't really know who founded Nike. I don't know what he looked like, but there's faces behind that brand. Right. It's humanized. You need to humanize your brand.
Businesses, people want to see the founder because there really isn't enough social proof or street cred to borrow something else from. But a face and a founder's face gives that street cred. So you need some of it. That's why. And again, it depends. We could turn this into a beautiful Broadway musical. Call it It Depends. A show about very, very aggravated people who just want a clear answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Third question, is it okay to reuse content across platforms? My answer is it's not just okay, but it's smart. I'll let Julia elaborate on this.
So I will say I agree. Yes, it is smart to use it across platforms. But that all being said, you want to make sure you're speaking to the audience on that platform. The way something is phrased on Facebook is not necessarily going to play out well on TikTok. So you want to make sure you're speaking to the audience that's going to see it. Another way of thinking about that is you can very easily cross post from Instagram to Facebook. We do it for clients. I know people that do it. Lots of businesses do it. But if you leave all the hashtags and tagging in when you switch to Facebook, it's obvious that you didn't speak to that audience. Facebook has a very large and engaged audience. And if you are selling to that audience, you need to actually speak to them instead of have them be an afterthought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo. Fourth question. What if I run out of things to say?
Well, that's never been a problem for me.
Yep. Some of us
If
actually
we
do run out of stuff to say. Sometimes I will sit there like fingers on the keyboard and I'll be like, and I actually talk to
Right.
our customers all the time.
Yes. I will say that if you run out of things to say, it's a couple things. One, you're not talking to your customers enough because you don't know the questions they're asking. Laura had said it, I think it was last episode, that this 4-series arc is all questions that we get from our customers and prospective customers and the general public.
Mhm.
And honestly, most of what we talk about on this podcast is that, and our blog is all about that. One of our highest performing blogs on our website right now is because I kept getting asked the same question over and over and over again. And so I had Abby on our team write a blog about it. So I can just refer people to the blog. If you don't know what to say, then you're not talking to your customer. The other side of that is you're not thinking in your customer's shoes. What questions are they asking? What are they confused by? If you're selling sweaters, which is my favorite analogy to use or example to use,
beating it to death. There's
I know,
holes in it.
my favorite. If you're getting a lot of those sweaters returned, why are you getting those sweaters returned? Have you asked people? Are you selling to the wrong people? Is there a problem in shipping? Is there a problem in storage? You could be talking about all of this. You know, we've seen an increase in our sweaters being returned, and we apologize for the decreased quality, and we're working on it. Da, da, da. Again, you're talking to your ideal client. The other part of this is if you don't know what to say or you run out of things to say, you don't really know what you do. And you don't really know why people buy from you. And that's a bigger problem in services than products. But again, in products, there's high competition. If you are selling those sweaters, you need to know why somebody's choosing you over Old Navy.
Mm-hmm. So there's another side to this, because if anyone listening to this is like me and they actually do speak to their customers all the time and they do intimately know what they do, sometimes you could actually just have creative burnout, which happens to me. And if you run out of things to say, it could be that you've been playing it safe, which I used to do. I don't do anymore. Now I just burn shit down and I don't care, which is very freeing, and it actually brings you more customers. More on that another day. But the other thing is when you're playing it safe, you aren't revealing what it's really like. So I work with people in another business that I own, and I help them to ascend into a higher version of their entrepreneurial capabilities. So let's say they've been trapped under 7 figures. I help them to crash into like 7 figures and sometimes 8 figures. And one of the things that I've been revealing lately is the real work that it takes to get there, because most people think that it is strategy and tactics, and those are relevant for sure. But the thing that nobody guesses is the behind the scenes work, which is what I talk about without revealing any client information, which is the work of self. Because you're only going to achieve as much as you've grown as a person. And that is not, it is not comfortable work. It is not fun work. It makes grown men cry. It sucks. No, it does. I make grown men cry all the time. Not because I enjoy twisting the knife, but because that's actually what it takes to break out of the things that have kept you trapped in a business that's too small. So when you run out of things to say, start revealing some of the secrets of what it's really like to work with you. Some of the hidden things that nobody would guess. when you start to tap into your clients and your customers' fears, those are really useful. When you stop promoting and you start educating, that's when you actually stop running out of stuff to say. Tell
Mhm.
people what it's like. Tell people what the journey is like, what the actual journey of transformation is like, what it's like to confront your money mindset after years of thinking that people who have money are evil. Like, trust me, you'll never run out of ideas, because the human mind, which is what you're really selling to, is actually endless.
Mhm. Number 5, what's the best type of content to post? Everyone's going to hate my answer. It depends.
Oh God.
Um,
Paging
really,
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
I know. So really it's, the best type of content to post is the type of content that somebody responds to and is like, oh my God, this person really gets me. This person understands who I am. I'm a total evangelist of this brand. I'm going to, not only like, comment, follow, but share it with people. I want to buy from them. They really see
Mm-hmm.
themselves in that brand.
Yep.
I will say, so there's a whatever clothing, jewelry, whatever brand that markets a lot on Instagram. And she's it's a one woman shop. She does a lot of the things we're talking about today in terms of like, here are my values. Here's who I am. Here's what it was like to build my business. Here's why I partnered with this influencer. Here's what this collection means to me. I'm wearing this. Blah, 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 blah. She like really dove into the whole thing, and she posts 3-4 times a day at least. And it's not, super polished. Sometimes it's just her talking to the camera. Sometimes it's stuff that's scheduled. But one of the things she does is across the board, she gets high comments with people saying like, oh my God, this is so me. I have to buy this. This is incredible. Da, 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 da. Other people don't understand it. I don't want to buy it from Amazon. I want to buy it from you. Right? Like, she's really created a culture around it when you really could buy it anywhere else. So she's doing a great job kind of distinguishing herself from the pack. So the best type of content for her to post is the type for people to be like, oh my God, I agree with you. And, if she doesn't want the other people, then she's okay with it. She makes content out of the people that don't agree with her. That's like the type of person she is, which
I
is
love
great.
that stuff.
She's taking it, she's using it, which is fantastic. But you get a lot of people that see her stuff and are like, oh yeah, this is fantastic. And they're so excited about it, and they feel like they're being seen and heard.
Yeah. I think that one thing that gets forgotten quite a bit, the last question in the last episode was, isn't marketing just common sense? And the answer is an emphatic no. But when I revealed what it was, marketing is psychology. It's understanding people's behavior. It's the science of desire. It's the alleviation of pain. If you understand that, you can really kind of lean in. It's people buy things because they're not always looking to solve an external problem. Sometimes they're looking to solve a problem inside.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a feeling of inadequacy will cause people to buy a Rolex, not because Rolex is so great, it is, but like, people will spend money for reasons that you don't think. So, I'm a huge fan of ChatGPT, and I think that other people can use it really powerfully. One of the best things to say to it is, help me understand what my avatar is afraid of, and help me create content to speak to that.
Right. Yeah.
So there's some great ideas for you. So that puts a lid on this one. I think we're going to actually have to do the Broadway show. It depends.
Seriously.
It's going to be so great. It's going to be a lot of frustrated people in the audience. And what would happen if it had just like ended with the hero or the heroine of the show just being like, never getting the answer they want? That would be terrible.
I could just imagine myself trying to tap dance in a Broadway show with like the full tux with the, the cane.
Oh
and
yeah,
the
yeah, for
full
sure. Like full
thing,
Golden Girls style.
like full. And then I fall and hurt myself. And then we'd be like,
And then you get the Oscar.
right. And that's putting a lid on it because Julia got injured again.
Okay. In another episode, we'll talk about how Julia is actually Humpty Dumpty in person. It's very exciting.
For real.
So, thank you for being here. We love that we get to do these episodes for you and with you. Please be sure to visit vision-advertising.com and tell us what you think. Go to the contact page. Let us know what your questions are. As you can see, we love to answer questions and give you a lot of context. If you'd like some help with your marketing, just ask. We're always here to help you, sometimes for free, sometimes not. Depends on the level of support that you need, but always ask. Anyway, thank you for being here. It is a pleasure, and we'll see you in the next episode.